Good morning and welcome to Atlantic Television Network. Sports Talk is the program, and of course, it's that time that will take you through happenings in sports. Ekwo Temple is my name, and on the menu this morning, Rivers Hoopers win Nigerian Basketball Federation Final 4 title in Port Harcourt. March Verstappen United at class Angolan opponent in the CAF Confed Cup. Details of this and many more will be yours in a jiffy.
Telling him not to counterpunch.
Figure. They are one of the renowned personalities when it comes to sports, and always our in-house sports analyst, Sarah Atonye Davis. Welcome to the show today.
Good morning. You didn't introduce me the way Sarah loved to introduce. Award-winning Sarah Davis. Is it easy for someone to be recognized in your field? I mean, your field of endeavor,
yes.
Sports. I mean, award-winning sports personality of 2023. It's no mean feat.
It doesn't come cheap. Truly,
no mean feat.
Yes, I've forgotten. I mean, I haven't been with you for a very long time, so I haven't forgotten that lovely accolades. And once again, congratulations. Anyway.
Thank you.
Let's start with some news here around the National Sports Festival. Of course, massive preparation towards that particular one. We saw over the weekend. We saw the meeting between the MOC and the LOC there in the Keneremo, all geared towards ensuring that massive preparation ahead of next year. And for me, I think that this is the way to go.
Well, you know, one thing I know about, Ondo State, yes, they must have had their own shortcomings, but I think, when the subject is sports, they've always been at the front burner. Now, Delta State, have set a precedent, go around, some of the same person. But I should think that having, having the Remo Star State, we hope that they do better than what, Delta have done. Delta have set the pace, and we think that every other state that wants to host should do better than what Delta have done.
And when you talk about do better, are there key areas which you can pinpoint to say, okay, these are the gray areas we noticed at the last National Sports Festival, and this one coming up next year, the MOC, and it's lovely. I haven't seen where the MOC and the LOC kickstart together. This is the very first of it kind in a very long while, because I remember even that of Delta State, it was the LOC that were on ground planning. The MOC planned at the national level, but this time around, the first meeting of the committee, it's a joint meeting. So, what are the gray areas you think that can be?
I think the fact that the LOC and the MOC, are starting early enough is a statement of intent. But I should think that one thing that they have to do, very fast is the fact that in most cases, even when the National Sports Festival has started, we see, facilities being constructed and all of that, which has led to some accidents on site and all of that. But then you can't take away, that fact, because, it's a human error. We've seen that even in top-notch, countries and European countries. Look at Brazil when they hosted the World Cup. Construction was still ongoing while the World Cup was being hosted. So I do not think that's a major flaw. But where I have the major concern is the fact that we should have the database of our athletes. We saw what happened at the National Sports Festival, where we had some challenges about, having to know, some of the database. This time around, yes, the last one they said they were going to they were making use of the knee. I hope that that stays and they are able to get, records, keep this record and ensure that the athletes that will be discovered will truly be followed up, nurtured to stadium, because sometimes we get to discover these athletes, but we have a challenge of not being able to nurture these athletes to stardom, and that's why we always have the challenges, the issue of, not being able to replace our aging athletes before they eventually fizzle out.
Record keeping and talent discovery, nurturing will really help to enhance sports here in Nigeria. It goes beyond just hosting the National Sports Festival. The fruits or the gains from the festival should be retained, nurtured, and cultured for future.
And I think one of the reasons why we don't get to keep those records very well is because we like coming in with this godfatherism and all of that. Because ordinarily, if you look at the National Sports Festival and even the Youth Festival, some of the states have been able to discover strong, top-notch, talents that could be world beaters. But because we have this issue of, sentiments, I want to pick those that I know. Oh, this one has a godfather. The true talent do not have godfathers, and so they are being, picking them have become, a problem. So I think if we begin to do the right thing, we begin to look at those who truly deserve, to represent this country, then we may not have, shortage of, athletes.
Certainly. I'll keep my phone across and see how it goes. But away from that now, let's bring you some basketball news. And what a way to start from basketball in Port Harcourt. We are, over the weekends, Rivers Hoopers have been crowned champions of this year's Nigeria Premier Basketball League for the 5th time after they defeated the Custom of Abuja 77-57. The last match day, of course, it was a round-robin encounter, but certainly they did the needful. What's the feeling like in Port Harcourt where this was hosted?
Well, it can be better than, what we saw. And of course, we're still living with the euphoria. The fact that, our team, 5-time, Nigerian basketball champions, went all the way, picking the only ticket, the sole ticket to represent Nigeria at the BAL tournament. The feeling is something I can't explain. But I'm just happy that we're going to be at the BAL for the 2nd time. We'll have the likes of teams from Egypt, Sierra Leone, Uganda, Rwanda rather, to contend with at the championship. Angola is also in the mix. These are, powerhouses when you talk about, basketball on the African continent. But then I should think that, we have done the needful. We have gone on, I think, 14 match unbeaten run, and then we've been able to, eventually win that sole ticket. The players themselves know what is at stake, and so they kept their cool, even though the second to the last match where they played against, Hooks, Ritz and Hooks, was really tough for them. It was an end-to-end stuff, but eventually holding their own and then going all the way to win that, and then, getting into the finals. That was even where they showed that, they truly want to be on the continent. They want to be back on the continent. Look at the, margin, the points, gap between them and, of course, the perennial rivals, Customs. I felt that was going to be the decider. That was going to be the judgment day for our team, Rivers, Hoopers. But they eventually held their own, and of course, it was a convincing win for, Rivers Hoopers. Now attention has to be shifted to preparation ahead of the BAL. Yes, we do not know the date, but then it's 2024. Maybe they just have to, go for a bit of break and then come back, be in camp for a very long time. Because, if you don't start early to prepare, you are doomed to fail. We're going to be facing, countries from the best, the best, basketball, teams on the African continent. So we sure have to prepare very well. And I like one of the things, that happened. The Commissioner for Sport, Barrister Christopher Green, did his best motivating these boys, and we saw that motivation from the first game. 1 million given to the players after that. It was a timely intervention. It spurred the players to do more, and of course they went all the way unbeaten all through, and here we are. We're going to be at the much attention to other sports. Ordinarily for a team that will be playing on the continent, and of course, it rings the bell when you hear countries like Angola in basketball. You hear the name Rwanda, you hear the name Egypt, you hear the name Sierra Leone. It should make you understand that you are in for a tough fight. Ordinarily, our team should be having, intercontinental preparations, But the sad part of it is that, we don't give attention so much to other sports. So at the end of the day, we might just find, Rivers Hoopers, playing sports should even be stronger than that